Right now on Morning News Now, a presidential milestone. Today marks 100 days of President Trump's second term. The critical period full of sweeping policy changes on issues like immigration and major economic decisions, sending shockwaves from Washington to Wall Street with major impacts on millions of everyday Americans.
This is unprecedented success. President Trump has proven no one does it better than President Trump.
It's been 100 days of hell for American families, for our economy, and for our democracy.
We have team coverage with a look back at the Trump presidency so far and how voters feel 100 days in. New from overnight, a message of defiance from Canada's newly elected Prime Minister to President Trump. We'll have the results from a contentious snap election. Also this morning, springtime storms, millions of people waking up to more severe weather from the south to the northeast. We are tracking the warnings before you start your workday. And now boarding, airlines slashing prices as demand cools for the summer travel season. What you need to know before you book your next vacation. You know, it had gotten so expensive, so that's good to hear.
Good time to travel abroad, too.
There you
Good
go.
morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Joe Fryer.
And I'm Savannah Sellers. Thanks for starting your day with us. We're going to begin with the White House commemorating the 100th day of President Trump's second term. Today, the president will mark that milestone at a rally in Macomb County, Michigan. That's a key battleground state he flipped on his path to take back the White House in 2024. Yesterday, Trump signed several executive orders targeting immigration. He also met with House Speaker Mike Johnson as Republicans raced to try to pass big pieces of the president's agenda by Memorial Day.
This morning, we're taking a closer look at how Americans are feeling. A gut check 100 days in. More than a dozen of the most recent national polls show that President Trump's job approval rating is underwater. We're also hearing directly from voters who helped bring him back to Washington. Well, new polls show the president's support softening among most Americans, especially on the economy. The MAGA base remains firmly behind Donald Trump, and that was crystal clear in conversations with NBC News. Our Shaquille Brewster joins us with some of those conversations from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and our senior national politics reporter John Allen is standing by with his analysis. Shaq, let's start with you. You traveled to Kent County, Michigan, to hear from President Trump's supporters. Let's begin with one of his key campaign promises, which was to improve the economy on day one. And the thing that's undeniably causing the most economic uncertainty right now is Trump's tariffs. So how is that sitting with his voters?
Good morning, guys. And yeah, you know, it's interesting here because when you look at polling, this is where you see some of his highest disapproval. But for his biggest supporters, it's largely about giving him the benefit of the doubt and sticking with what they see as the overall mission of those tariffs. Listen to some of those conversations.
Nobody likes to pay more for anything. I don't. But in the long run, I think it's going to be good. I'm on board with the mission.
My money went down just like everybody else's. My investments in there coming right back up. It doesn't faze me a bit.
Why doesn't it faze you?
Because that's what stocks do.
We're in a lot of debt, and if those tariffs are going to help bring back more to our economy, I'm all for it.
So you get the sense there. Everyone is seeing what's happening in the markets. People are seeing the impacts on prices. But for those who voted for him, they say this was not a surprise. This is what they were supporting, and they believe it's going to ultimately lead to something better, guys.
So what did President Trump's supporters specifically tell you, Shaq, that they're the most impressed by, the most happy with so far when it comes to policies we've seen enacted?
It's where you see some of his better numbers, and that's on one of his core issues, and that's immigration. Just listen to the excitement and the enthusiasm in the voices of his supporters when we're talking immigration.
I am totally excited. Everybody I know is excited. Absolutely, everybody that's here illegally should go. I'm not one of these that, oh, the poor person. No, they need to go. They came in illegally.
I do believe if people are criminals and they're doing the wrong things, they should be taken out of our country. But some of the family stuff, I was wondering some ways we could have handled that a little bit differently.
Now, if you look at it, the amount of documented people coming across the border, it's done in a very structured way.
So you heard some softness there in terms of some of the images there, but there was still broad support for his immigration policies. But you know, when you look at Democrats, that's also something that's very animating for the other side of the aisle. So it's definitely an issue, big picture, where it causes that division.
Shaq, something we often heard from President Trump during his campaign, not to mention his first term, was his pledge to drain the so-called swamp. So far, his cuts to federal agencies are facing a lot of legal pushback. It's unclear how much money the government's really saving right now. Is this something that voters are concerned by at all?
There is some concern that you pick up on, but it goes back to that giving him the benefit of the doubt that this is something that's necessary. One person even kind of used that Trump analogy of treating a sick patient, that you may see things kind of deteriorate initially, but it's going to lead to a better place. Listen to some of those conversations.
It seems like a lot of people that probably got fired that shouldn't have been fired, but it seems like when they made that mistake, they're hiring those people back. People get hired and fired all the time. So, you know, that's just part of life.
Finding the fraudulent way that money is being funneled, either through shell companies and circumventing where they're supposed to be going, where the money's supposed to or earmarked for, coming back and lining the pockets of liberal agendas.
That last piece of sound really goes into the idea of why, even among those who say they question some of the cuts, maybe they disagree with some of the programs that have been eliminated or that the Trump administration have tried to eliminate, they still believe in the overall mission because they say they're seeing things, they're learning more about the government than they did before. It's a lot of nuance here. It's much more than just the polling, but that's why it's important to have these conversations, guys.
All right, Shaq from 2024 Battleground, Michigan. Shaq, thank you so much.
For more analysis here, let's bring in NBC News senior national politics reporter John Allen. John, good morning. You literally wrote the book, the best-selling book, I may add. There it is, and I believe it's over your shoulder as well, on this election. It's called Fight Inside the Wildest Battle for the White House. I've said this before. I'll say it again. It reads like fiction. It's so fantastic. I want to start with your reaction to what we just heard there with Shaq. This pretty much unwavering support from the president's base. When you look back at the people that you talked to during the campaign, is this where voters who put Trump back in the White House thought they would be?
Yeah, this is absolutely what they voted for, at least in terms of the large group of Trump's voters. They're very happy about what's going on with immigration. I think some of them are a little more wait and see about the tariffs, but until they have a big break with Trump, until, you know, it will, let's put it this way, it'll take a lot of pain for them to get to a place where they're not with him. I think on a whole host of cultural issues, this is what they say they voted for. Now, that doesn't mean that we won't be able to find some folks who voted for Trump who are dissatisfied with one policy or the other, or perhaps disillusioned with him entirely. But you can see in the polling numbers that those, core MAGA voters are excited.
John, let's talk about this rally tonight in Macomb County, Michigan. What is the significance behind this particular spot? What do you expect we'll hear?
Joe, it's a great question. Macomb County, Michigan is the heart of what were called the Reagan Democrats back in 1980 and 1984. Basically, working class voters who crossed over from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party to support Ronald Reagan. You've seen in the last 3 elections that Donald Trump has won Macomb County and won it by the biggest margin that he has won it by in 2024. So 2016, 2020, won it by pretty big margins, and then 2024, an even bigger one.
John, obviously there were a lot of these promises that haven't quite come to fruition, whether that's fixing the economy for everyday Americans or ending the war in Ukraine. 100 days in here, there are these historically bad disapproval numbers. The White House, we know, of course, as every White House has before, will spend this 100th day touting accomplishments. But do you think that within the Trump White House, there's any concern or potential for course correction on the way?
I mean, absolutely, Savannah. I think any White House would be crazy not to look at ways that they can do things better. That said, I think there are very few people in this country that would argue that Donald Trump hasn't had the most active 100 days in any recent presidency. I mean, the scope and speed with which he is changing things is absolutely breathtaking, whether you like it or don't.
So, John, let's talk about where things go from here, because those voters Shaq spoke with seem to almost brush off any worries about the economy. Most experts are not brushing off those concerns. So if we have a recession, something sparked by tariffs, could that be the biggest threat to Trump's presidency?
Yeah, I mean, I think Trump will be judged on the state of the economy and perceptions about the state of the economy under him, as most presidents are. You know, we live in times of relative peace and relative economic stability, but as we saw with Joe Biden, the persistent inflation numbers under him, you know, I think it was really a drag on his presidency, a drag on his candidacy, a drag on Kamala Harris's candidacy, and if Trump, by the same token, whether we're talking about the metric of inflation or we're talking about different metrics, if people don't feel like they are getting ahead, or at least have the opportunity to get ahead, if they feel like things cost too much or they don't have enough money to pay for the things that they want, then that will, you know, be defining for Trump, especially after he promised to fix things.
All right, John Allen, thank you so much.
Thanks.
Mark Carney is set to remain Prime Minister of Canada. His Liberal Party retained power in an election that was dominated by anti-Trump sentiment. The win caps off a stunning comeback for Carney's party, though with nearly all the votes counted, they are expected to fall just short of a majority. That means they could either seek the support of a smaller opposition party or go it alone in what could be a less stable minority government. Carney's campaign was helped by voters who rejected President Trump's trade tariffs and threats of annexing Canada, points that Carney emphasized in his victory speech overnight.
President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over.
Well, in Ukraine, rescue teams are searching through the rubble following another Russian drone attack overnight.
Ukrainian officials say that a 12-year-old girl was killed, 3 others were wounded when a drone hit a residential building in central Ukraine. The attacks come after President Putin declared there would be a 3-day ceasefire in the war with Ukraine next week from May 8th to the 11th. That's to commemorate the 80th anniversary of Victory Day. That's when Russia celebrates its victory over Nazi Germany in World War II.
NBC News Chief International Correspondent Kirsten Simmons is here in New York City in studio with us.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. It's great to have you with us.
It's great to be here.
Let's talk about this declaration of a ceasefire. I mean, how do you interpret that? And do you think we'll see Ukraine follow suit? Would they stick to something like that?
It's cynical chess playing by President Putin. He's called a 3-day ceasefire. What Washington and Kyiv were asking for was a 30-day ceasefire. Completely different. But more than that, he's called it during his Victory Day celebrations, if you like, in Red Square, marking the end of the Second World War. There will be world leaders with him, including the leader of China, President Xi. So what's he doing? He's effectively trying to block Ukraine from launching some kind of an attack in Moscow. We know they can do it. They killed a Russian general in Moscow just in the past few days. He's trying to prevent Ukraine from launching some kind of an attack like that when it would be so embarrassing for him with that event taking place. If Ukraine does that, he'll say, you see, you can't trust the Ukrainians with a ceasefire. It suggests that President Putin is absolutely ready to walk away from a deal with President Trump, that he doesn't necessarily feel that he needs to do it, and that and there are people in the Trump administration who think this, that he is, some people would say, playing games.
We saw that Trump met with Zelensky at the Pope's funeral over the weekend, and Trump seemed to walk away believing that Zelensky would be willing to give up Crimea.
And seemingly questioning President Putin's commitment, too.
Right. Talk about how big of a shift that would be. And does that mean, and it seems like where we're at right now, perhaps not, but that there's anything Russia gained during this war in Ukraine it would be willing to give up?
Yeah, I don't think that Ukraine being prepared to give up Crimea, and we don't know what that means, because it could be, you know, it could be a settlement a bit like Korea, where there's still a war, but they just agreed to stop fighting, that Ukraine never doesn't say, yeah, OK, Crimea belongs to Russia. They may just say, for now, we accept the situation. And the situation, we've been to Crimea. Look, the situation is just self-evident. Crimea does not have the pro-Ukrainians there that they had in the past. It would be enormously difficult. It's also a strategically vital location with a very important port, Sevastopol, for Russia there. So, you know, it's, in a sense, you know, Zelensky is kind of facing something like the inevitable. The question, though, is whether you kind of admit that before you get into negotiations. And then you point to the other question, the 4 other regions, some of which the Russians hold, and some of which they don't, but which they say all should belong to them, that's a whole different point. Territory is always one of the most difficult questions when you're trying to agree an armistice.
Yeah. You mentioned a moment ago that car bomb that killed a Russian military figure outside of Moscow. We hadn't really heard anything from Ukraine, but overnight President Zelensky did speak.
Cryptic.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
Justice inevitably comes. Yeah. I mean, it was clearly the Ukrainians. I should say, I suppose, sources say, or, you know, it appears to be. But frankly, let's be honest. And as I mentioned earlier, the Ukrainians have launched these kinds of attacks on several occasions inside Russia. Their ability to do this is stunning and definitely will be concerning the Kremlin, which is, again, why I think Putin's put in this three-day ceasefire. Justice inevitably comes, says Zelensky. It does make another point, though, that there are those in Ukraine, not small numbers, who think that it's not worth stopping fighting for the kind of deal that they're being offered, who are also prepared to keep fighting. So there is a reticence to compromise on both sides among some. That's the challenge for President Trump.
Absolutely. Keir, great to have you in New York with us.
You bet. Great to be here.
Thank you so much. Well, we saw a rare moment of bipartisanship last night as Democrats and Republicans passed a bill aimed at combating deepfake pornography online. In a vote of 409 to just 2, the House passed the Take It Down Act, which would make it a crime to post non-consensual, sexually explicit images on social media, including those generated by artificial intelligence. This form of harassment has become more prevalent as AI technology has gotten more advanced, including in schools where minors have become victims of deepfake images. Now, this bill will hold the people who create, but also those who just distribute, who just post these images, accountable for the first time. The bill also requires social media platforms, including Meta, Snapchat, and TikTok, to remove the content within 48 hours of receiving notice from a victim. Now, the bill will go to President Trump's desk, where he is expected to sign it into law.
We're learning new details this morning about that deadly collision between a boat and a ferry in Clearwater, Florida. This webcam footage shows the horrifying crash, which happened Sunday night. Police say the passenger boat, you see right there, plowed into that ferry, then ended up on top of it. One man was killed. The boat stayed at the scene for several minutes before taking off. Police later arrested the driver of the boat several miles away. Now we're learning more about the driver and the victims. NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra has the latest.
Authorities confirming 2 identities, both the identity of the victim, the man who was killed, a father named Jose Castro, as well as the identity of the driver of that recreational boat that crashed into the ferry, identifying him as Jeffrey Knight. This, as investigators are trying to piece together why and how this crash happened.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. A deadly collision on the water and the chaotic aftermath unfolding in the dark of night.
The Clearwater ferry is adrift.
The violent impact caught on camera in Clearwater, Florida. A boat with 6 people on board colliding with a ferry carrying 45.
Our 911 call takers could hear what they described as horrific screaming in the background.
Andrew Terriglio tells us he was part of a nearby pirate cruise boat tour. His crew was among the Good Samaritan boats that stopped to help.
We could just hear them yelling for help, stuff like that.
The ferry, seen in shallow water here.
We shined the light because they had no power on their boat, so that at least now they could see. We were yelling to them, communicating that there was help on the way.
A swarm of first responders combed through Clearwater Bay searching for survivors, calling the collision a mass casualty incident.
We had multiple folks with broken bones, a lot of orthopedic injuries, a great deal of soft tissue injuries.
At least 10 people were injured, with 2 airlifted, and 1 man, a father, was killed. Police say the boat that hit the ferry stayed at the scene for a short amount of time before officers later found it 3.5 miles away. The unnamed captain of the boat, labeled cooperative by authorities who say he voluntarily submitted to a breathalyzer that detected no alcohol. He was not held. The mystery deepening and waters still reeling from tragedy.
Now, investigators are going to be doing everything from combing through every piece of video that exists, interviewing every single eyewitness, and then doing things like checking to see if all of the lights were functioning on both boats. This is all a part of a comprehensive plan to not just piece together what the conditions looked like at the time of the crash, but the timeline both during and after the crash in those crucial moments, particularly as they're looking at when and why that driver of that boat drove away.
All right, Marissa, thank you.
It's time now for your morning news now. Weather, parts of the plains and Midwest bracing for another round of potential severe weather today.
Angie Lastman's tracking everything for us. Angie, good morning.
Hi, guys. It's a broken record kind of forecast for our spring afternoon today. And even over the next couple of days, we're really going to keep it busy when it comes to the strong to even severe storms. We saw that yesterday. We're going to see it again today. And we've already started to see it kind of ramp up in the midsection of the country. We've got thunderstorm watches in effect across parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, a sliver of Missouri, Arkansas, and then kind of just going right into portions of Texas. This is going to last until 10 a.m. and then we'll likely see more of these here as the day goes on because we've got a couple of chances over a wide area to see some of these stronger storms develop and prompt these watches and warnings through the day. Here's what it looks like when it comes to your future cast. You can see essentially anywhere from New York to Texas will have that chance to see some stronger storms. I think the best chance centered right around parts of Midland, Lubbock, stretching into Oklahoma, and then really from parts of upstate New York down to Indianapolis and into parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. We'll see that potential for some of those stronger storms to develop. The biggest threat is going to be the hail, but we've got the wind gusts upwards of 75 miles per hour and even a couple of tornadoes possible. So heads up for all of that. And more of the same really tomorrow, just in a smaller area. We've got some of those storms intensifying into the afternoon hours, and those will essentially be centered across parts of of Oklahoma and Texas. We could see some of those stronger storms in Arkansas as well. Hail, once again, the biggest threat, but notice how much smaller that area is that we'll be watching for tomorrow. But the ingredients are still going to be there. A couple of tornadoes possible, as well as those damaging winds. On top of that, we've got multiple kind of periods of some heavy rain that we'll watch for. And because of that, there's no surprise that the flood watches are already up. We even have a couple of flash flood warnings right around Oklahoma City. 7 million people, though, included in all of those flood alerts. And we've got a whole lot of rain to come. We've got potentially widespread amounts, from the Northeast to the Great Lakes down to parts of the South of about an inch, maybe 2 inches. But notice right around that same area that's going to get multiple periods of heavy rain through the next couple of days. They could see anywhere from 5 to 8 inches. We've got places like Norman, upwards of 4.5 inches. We've got over 3 inches in places like Ardmore, Little Rock, even picking up a couple of inches. So we'll watch for the flash flooding to be a threat today and potentially into tomorrow, specifically Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls. But as far north as Springfield and even St. Louis could see that. Otherwise, guys, where's my applause for the spring warmth? Yes, okay, yeah. We like it. We've got 80s on tap in New York City, Cleveland, Lexington, highs. Richmond. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be outside later. 87 degrees in Little Rock. We've got spring and even summer-like temperatures across much of the east tomorrow, too. And then that May warmth continues for us. Who knew it was May already? Oof.
Good week. We approve.
True.
Well
right?
done.
But listen, about time. It's May. We've got to get in the spring kind of theme.
I know.
Right.
So we're not slipping back.
We're not. Well, okay. I don't know. I do the best I can with the information I have, guys.
There's only so much. Thank you, Angie.
You got it.
Much more to come here on Morning News Now. Later this hour, is the president pumping the brakes? He's reportedly set to give automakers a break from tough new tariffs. More on the announcement that is expected later today.
Up first, though, after the break, power now restored to parts of Spain, Portugal, and France after a massive outage that upended life on the Iberian Peninsula. Now officials trying to figure out what happened. We will be right back.
Welcome back. Power is almost fully restored to Spain after a massive blackout that impacted millions. The power outage yesterday affected large parts of both Spain and Portugal. It grounded flights, created chaos for public transportation, and left many without phone and internet coverage. NBC News international correspondent Raf Sanchez joins us now from Madrid with the latest. Raf, good morning.
Joe, good morning from the very heart of Madrid, and you can probably see life here very much back to normal. Spanish authorities are saying they have restored power at this point to 99% of customers. Similar picture over in Portugal, but there are major questions about what caused this blackout, which spanned across borders. After a power outage impacting tens of millions, cheers as the lights finally came back on. But questions remain. What caused the massive blackout that brought modern life grinding to a halt? An investigation now underway, but authorities say so far there's no evidence a cyber attack was responsible for the outage, which knocked out phone service, ATMs, and traffic lights, leading to snarling jams across Madrid.
It kind of makes you realize how much we depend on just like electricity and just basic connections.
Hundreds of flights were canceled, and the subway plunged into darkness, with families following emergency lights back to the surface. The blackout also halting play at the Madrid Open and cutting Coco Gauff's post-match interview short.
Not get a lot of sleep.
The American star later posting from darkened locker rooms. The outage scrambling the plans of thousands of American tourists, including Drew Toronto and Shelley Charnoff from New York.
Once we found out that it was more widespread, we were concerned that it was some sort of terrorist or cyber attack, but we really had no way of knowing.
One thing you have to always remember is have money. A lot of people don't carry any cash around. And once the power goes out, no credit cards, no internet, no Venmo, nothing. You have to have cash.
And this morning, a massive blaze at an electrical substation in London. All a reminder of how fragile our critical infrastructure can be.
Now, the most detailed explanation we have so far for what actually happened is coming from the Spanish power grid. They're saying yesterday they experienced a sudden drop in power that destabilized their whole system. What we still don't know, though, is what triggered that sudden drop.
Right. Raph, glad things are getting back to normal there. Thank you so much.
Well, we are getting an inside look at the prison in El Salvador, now believed to be where deported migrant Kilmer Abrego Garcia is being held. The Trump administration acknowledged earlier this month that the Maryland man was mistakenly deported and sent to a notorious prison in that country. NBC News correspondent David Noriega has the exclusive details on his new prison.
Ever since he was deported from the United States to El Salvador, Kilmer Abrego Garcia has been held completely incommunicado. However, we did receive an indication from court records that he had been transferred to a prison here in Santa Ana, a city about an hour outside of the capital. We got exclusive access to that prison. This sprawling penitentiary in El Salvador is the last known location of Kilmer Abrego Garcia after he was deported from the U.S. This is a low-security prison. Every single inmate that you see here has exhibited good behavior. They're nearing the final years of their sentences. That is why they were approved to participate in these work and rehabilitation programs. U.S. court records say Abrego Garcia was transferred here from CICOT, the Supermax mega prison where he was first sent. Officials did not give us access to Abrego Garcia, and they said they would not answer any questions about him. But they showed us the facility where he was last known to be held, a sharp contrast to CICOT. Inmates raise dairy cows here, and they move relatively freely. And the prison specifically excludes gang members. No gang members work here, the warden told us, raising questions about why Abrego Garcia was moved here when both President Trump and El Salvador's president have called him a gang member.
El Salvador does not intend to smuggle a designated foreign terrorist back into the United States.
A U.S. immigration judge in 2019 wrote that evidence shows Abrego Garcia is a verified member of MS-13, and President Trump showed a photo of Abrego Garcia's tattoos he says demonstrate gang membership. But his family and his lawyers deny he is a gang member, arguing evidence against him has been discredited, and saying that, like other inmates here, he has been completely cut off from contact with them. Are you allowed to communicate with anyone in the outside world? No. Lawyers, family members? No.
Our thanks to David Noriega for that report. The Trump administration is expected to file a long-awaited update to Garcia's case on Wednesday in federal court. The U.S. Supreme Court had ordered the administration to facilitate Garcia's return, but there's no indication so far of any movement. Well, coming up, loud and unclear, researchers sounding the alarm on the potential impacts of shouting at children.
Our friend Dr. George James joins us with what parents should know. Your weekly check-in is coming up on Morning News Now.
Welcome back. It is time now for our weekly mental health check-in, and today we're digging into how harsh words in childhood can literally reshape the brain, as experts are now saying verbal abuse is one of the most overlooked threats to kids' mental health.
Then we're going to hit the snooze button, talk about a creative new way schools are helping teens catch some much-needed Z's.
Joining us now on all this is licensed marriage and family therapist Dr. George James, our friend. Dr. James, great to have you with us. Let's start with this new research out of the UK that shows that when parents yell at their children, it can reshape that child's brain. Why do words, especially harsh ones, have such deep, lasting impact on who we become? And is there any concern here with change to the brain like that?
Good morning, Savannah. And yes, we've long known that harsh words can impact folks. But what this study is talking about is that verbal abuse, which we need to talk a lot more about, can impact the brain, where the brain is confused and overwhelmed. And now we integrate it in how we see the world. And young folks in particular start to see themselves in a negative way, and it could add to mental health issues and concerns. So we really do need to be better with how we treat our children and how we speak to our children, especially as they're growing up at a younger age.
Dr. James, let's shift gears here. We're used to hearing about sleep training for newborns, maybe nap time in kindergarten, but now some schools are actually teaching teens how to sleep. I feel like this is one thing that will actually get teens to school, is that they can sleep in class. Talk about why this is so important. What should parents of teens be doing? What can we learn from this?
Yeah, Joe, this is another attempt to really help our young folks regulate all the things they have to do. Our young folks are stressed, they're overwhelmed. Yes, they're engaged in technology and they're not getting enough sleep. Even some places are including places where they could take naps in school. And this is really to be able to help not only sleep train, but also provide sleep hygiene. What are the ways to get them the sleep they need? As we see, 8 to 10 hours is hopeful, as well as quality of sleep. So we want to make sure our teens are going to sleep, even though they might not go when we say, but it's important for them to get the sleep for their brain and mental health.
Absolutely. It was us too. I'm trying to work on more hours a night. Dr. James, a new HuffPost article is diving into the tricky difference between anxiety and intuition, like what's like a gut feeling and then what's that wave of fear or stress. How can we tell which one we're experiencing? But I think more than that, it's like, why does it matter? Why is it important to know the difference?
You know, anxiety's role often is trying to overwhelm us, to make us afraid, and sometimes to make us not do things, right? When we're anxious, we oftentimes want to stay away from something. But our intuition sometimes can guide us to maybe to try something. Now, the real difference is that intuition is often softer. It feels more grounded. We feel more secure, while anxiety is overwhelming and rushes us. So we want to lean into our intuition and not as much into our anxiety, because if we do that too much, we'll find ourselves just being in a chaotic place when we can sometimes trust ourselves, trust our gut to make those right decisions.
Do you see this a lot, Dr. James? People maybe confusing the two a little bit?
Oh, it happens all the time, and especially if you're someone who tends to be a little bit more anxious, you can find yourself trusting your anxiety more than that part of you that might say to trust your gut. And so we want to pay attention to your body, pay attention to those thoughts, and start to see the difference between the two, and once again, trust your gut as much as you can.
Right. Dr. George James, great advice this morning. Thank you so much.
Coming up, slowing down, President Trump reportedly getting ready to ease the impact of tariffs on automakers. What we know next.
Plus, wheels up, airlines slashing prices as demand goes down ahead of summer. What you should know before you book. You're watching Morning News Now.
We are back with a look at the state of American travel with the unofficial start of summer, Memorial Day weekend, now less than 4 weeks away.
Yeah, and there's some good news if you're planning a trip. Airfare is actually down more than 5% compared to last year. And airlines are slashing prices and scaling back flights as demand for domestic travel cools off. So what should you know before you book?
Travel expert Katie Nastro from Going.com is here to help us navigate it all, as always. So I know our friends at CNBC report what many of us are seeing, plane tickets getting a lot cheaper right now. This is supply and demand, right? I mean, what's going on right now?
Yeah, look, you know, it's a combination of factors. Some people are sort of hesitant with economic uncertainty going on. Should I be spending more on sort of discretionary categories like travel? So we are seeing that airfare is dropping due to the fact that people are hesitant. And despite some carriers reporting that, you know, premium cabins are still up, international travel is still up, we're seeing incredible airfare deals for peak summer dates, you know, end of July, well into August, that we typically wouldn't see at this time of the year. For example, if you are looking to spend up a little bit, premium tickets from Boston to London, $6.99 round trip in premium economy for the end of July into August. And that's a ticket that would cost well into the upwards of $2,500. So it's really
on any airline?
No, that was specific to a European carrier, SAS.
Okay.
So, you know, there is, and that actually is a byproduct of what is going on. You know, there are less inbound international tourists. April is down about 10%, and if that trend continues, airlines are really going to have to do something like discount even further to help fill those seats because of that gap.
So would you say now is the best time to book, or are we going to see deals get even better? Should you hold out?
Yeah, that's a great question, Savannah. And honestly, we still would advise people, book now. You want to take advantage of these savings. And it's not just internationally that we're seeing. We're seeing domestic prices, Cincinnati to Charleston, $78 round trip. Seattle to Chicago, which in the summer is fantastic, $170 round trip. So it's not just international deals that we're seeing, but you want to make sure that you take advantage of them now, just in case, the bottom hasn't fallen out on travel. I think that's really the message we want people to hear. People are still looking to travel, but you should be taking advantage of the price of travel now, if you can.
Let's talk more about the international flights. You mentioned how much that's happening. We have a number here. The International Trade Administration says U.S. citizens flying abroad actually rose 1.6% from last March, excuse me. Last munch, if you're munching while you're flying. What should you know, though, if you're going to try and get the most bang for your buck if you are going to fly overseas this year?
Yeah, look, with currency still a little bit shaky, we would advise go to the bank now, get some euros if you are traveling over to one of those areas like Europe or even to the UK. You want to lock in that decent price, as well as, take advantage of the fact specific credit cards don't have exchange fees, as well as you want to make sure, again, with your airfare, say you already did book your flight, take advantage of flight alerts. And the fact that when you buy a main economy ticket, you have the ability to call the airline, get rebooked, and get that credit. We always are talking about flight alerts over the Going app, and you can really take advantage of it this year if you've already locked in a decent price, even though we're seeing even more decent prices.
So that's another reason to book now, is because you could get that money back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We are anticipating we're going to see some fluctuation, and you want to take advantage of those price drops when they happen, which it's looking like they just will, especially with everything going on.
All right, Katie Nastro, good advice. Good to have you with us.
Woohoo, happy traveling. Well, stay on your wallet now. A new tariff update from the Trump administration could mean some relief for the auto industry.
CNBC's Silvana Henao has that and some other Wall Street headlines. Silvana, good morning.
Hey, Joe. Hey, Savannah. Good morning to you. Yeah, so Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick says President Trump will soon announce moves to ease the impact of tariffs on the auto industry. Now, the Wall Street Journal first reported U.S. companies paying 25% tariffs on imported cars won't have to pay additional fees, such as those on steel and aluminum. Now, the move will be retroactive, and automakers reportedly will be reimbursed for the extra tariffs they've already paid. Additional 25% tariffs on imported auto parts that are set to take effect on Friday will also be modified. Uber has told employees it will require them to be in the office 3 days a week. That's up from the current 2, including those who had been previously approved for remote work. In a memo from Uber's CEO, seen by CNBC, the changes will take effect in June. Now, in 2022, Uber established anchor days on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where most employees must spend at least half of their work time in the office. And J-Lo is weighing in on the economy. In a post on Instagram, Jennifer Lopez says, due to inflation, my love will now be costing a thing. She also reposted a viral meme referencing her 2001 hit song, Love Don't Cost a Thing. Now, the post comes as many Americans are feeling the pinch from inflation and worries about recession and the impact of tariffs. J-Lo's net worth is estimated to be about $400 million, guys.
So I think she'll be okay. I think she can go back to not charging a thing for her love, right?
Exactly.
That's pretty funny.
I think so. That way we could keep costs down, right?
All right,
Don't
thanks,
charge.
Savannah.
Well, coming up, she is back and better than ever. Figure skating champion Alyssa Liu back on top after stepping away from the sport for her mental health.
We are so excited to have her join us live next to talk about her successes, the challenges she's faced along the way, and what comes next. This is Morning News Now.
Welcome back. Well, this morning we are so excited. We have a figure skating champion joining us with an incredible comeback story. At just 13 years old, Alyssa Liu made history as the youngest ever U.S. women's national champion. She defended her title the next year, solidifying her place as one of America's brightest young stars.
But at 16, after competing in the 2022 Beijing Olympics, she made the courageous decision to step away from the sport. She wanted to focus on her mental health and her personal growth. Well, just 3 years later, Alyssa made a stunning return to the sport. She captured gold at the 2025 World Championships, becoming the first U.S. woman to win a world figure skating title in 19 years.
And we are thrilled to have Alyssa Liu with us here in studio live on set today. Alyssa, welcome.
Thank you.
We are really so excited that you're here, and congratulations on what you're doing right now. How does it feel to be back and to be back in this way?
I mean, I never expected to come back and, win worlds, but I'm really happy with how things are going, and I've just been really enjoying my time out on the ice.
Well, it wasn't just the personal individual title, but then you came back and had a personal best helping the team win the title, something that hadn't happened in a while. How significant was that for you? What was that moment like?
I mean, I was just really proud of, I have a really good team behind me, and I'm really glad that I could put out my best for myself and for all those that supported me. And I just want to inspire and continue doing my passion.
I just think there is such a lesson to be learned from you to take a step back when you knew you needed it and then have the opportunity to come back stronger than ever. I think there's so many people who are so much older than you who could learn that that's possible.
Yeah.
What was it like to make the decision at the time? Was it scary?
It wasn't too scary, but I had a lot of time to think about it before I concluded that I wanted to retire. I thought about it definitely a year in advance. So I made my decision, and I never regretted it. And I had a great time off the ice, and now that I'm back, I'm still having a great time. So.
It's so funny to hear someone talk about retiring at the age of 16.
Yeah, I know. It's really crazy for me to think about. Yeah, but coming back, I'm still young, so I guess it works.
As an athlete, you get to retire many times during your career. Exactly, that's part of it.
Yeah.
I want you dedicated your world title and your performance to the figure skating community and also the victims of the DC crash earlier this year, which I know hit the community so hard. Talk about the importance of that and just what this tightly knit figure skating community has meant to you.
I mean, it means a lot. Even when I was gone, I was still, connected to it. And coming back, a lot of our friends were affected. And it was really hard for a lot of people to kind of pick up where we left off from, because that happened so, closely after Nationals. And we had so many more competitions and shows that a lot of us had to, we had commitments. And I guess we all kind of had the same mindset where we skate for those who can't. So it was a lot easier because we were all together. But yeah, it was definitely really difficult. And every time I step on the ice, I'm just really grateful. And I always think in the back of my head of the kids and all of those on the plane. So yeah, it's really hard, but we just keep going.
Such a tragedy for your community. You've talked about coming back this time feeling different, feeling like it's more joyful, feeling like it's on your terms.
Yeah.
Does that still feel true?
Yeah, it does. I mean, every day, or not every day, but the days I decide to step on the ice, it's because I want to, be there. And yeah, ever since I came back, I've just been wanting to continue on, just go back to the rink, go back to the rink. There's so much I want to do on the ice, so many programs and ideas I have. But yeah.
That's exciting for all of us.
And that leads us to what's next with the Olympics, which are coming quickly in Italy. How excited are you? What's the big goal there?
I mean, I'm really excited. I just want to, during this off-season time, to create 2 strong programs that I'm really proud of, that are really cool, that people want to watch. So I hope I can get that ready. And if I get chosen for the Olympics, then I'll be really proud to display those, on such a big stage.
Speaking of cool, your hair is like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Oh my God, thank you. What? Yeah, they're stripes.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll keep it for the Olympics? Maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe? All right.
Maybe.
I like it.
Alyssa Liu, we're so excited for you. We're so excited to watch you. It's great to have you back. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
So great to meet you.
All right, before we end this hour, some entertainment news. Netflix is putting a fresh spin on a classic, The Four Seasons. It's a modern take on the 1981 hit of the same name.
This time it's airing as an 8-part series starring Tina Fey, Steve Carell, and Coleman Domingo. The show follows 3 couples through love, friendship, and a lot of real-life drama. NBC News correspondent Morgan Chesky sat down with the cast ahead of the big premiere.
The Four Seasons. 3 couples, 4 trips, and all of life's ups and downs. It's showrunner Tina Fey's homage to the 1981 classic.
This is for all of you.
With a modern twist.
You've said that this series is a love letter to relationships, both romantic and platonic. What do you want people walking away with?
I hope people see themselves reflected in the show. You know, I keep saying, like, did you ever make a fort with a blanket and go under it? We want it to be like that.
Faye and fellow SNL alum Will Forte play Kate and Jack, the stable couple of the group, reprising the roles of Alan Alda and Carol Burnett. Steve Carell and Carrie Kinney-Silver play Nick and Ann, a couple whose marriage is on the rocks. And Coleman Domingo and Marco Calvani play Danny and Claude, a new take on the roles played by Jack Weston and Rita Moreno. Together, they take us on a journey through love and life, navigating the turbulence of stale marriages and long friendships.
Exactly. Steve, you know, at this point, you've kind of done it all. You've made it laugh. You've made us...
Made you cry?
Made us sick.
Do you want me to continue?
I'm tearing up. I'm tearing up.
You've made us so sleepy.
When you're playing Nick, here's a guy that on one hand can be villainized, and on the other, you could maybe even see him as inspiring.
Well, this is a human being with flaws and doing their best, and maybe they don't understand the error of their ways.
One thing I want to say about Steve as a showrunner, you have to have a likable actor to get away with that. And I like to say, and I can like to continue to be on record saying, that to me, Steve is kind of the Jimmy Stewart of our generation.
Will, I'm curious, how did it feel to have kind of comedy as a background, but then step into a role where, in a way, you're almost the emotional center of the group?
I'm the emotional center of the group?
We didn't want to tell you till today.
Keep me honest, Tina.
We didn't want to tell you till today, but
I would have had, like, T-shirts made and stuff. I feel like there are 6 emotional centers of this group, and each of our characters is taking such a complete journey.
Coleman, I feel like there's hot streaks, and then there's whatever you're riding. 2 consecutive Oscar nominations, Rustin, Sing Sing, now 4 seasons. What sold you on this one?
But not the emotional center.
Just want to make that clear.
You know, everything about it was such a beautiful opportunity. We look for those moments in our careers when you've been in your career for a long time, when you feel like you're going to be challenged. I want to be in a room with Steve and Will and Carrie and figure this out.
Carrie, I was fascinated by your role as Anne. You had so much runway to kind of tell Anne's story in a new way. What was that like?
It was the gift that you could imagine. I watched this movie probably 30 times when I was 11 years old, and my parents really had just gotten divorced. That movie sort of felt a little bit like a documentary that I wasn't in, but that I was very much a part of. I think it's a universal story in time.
Marco Calvani, who plays Claude, hadn't acted in 16 years, yet stole one scene after another.
Marco, as Claude, watching you, you have the chemistry and the love for your partner, but there's also just such love for everyone there.
I think I am the emotional center, guys. Clearly obvious. And I think I tap into the love and the gratitude that I felt of being here in the company of these amazing people.
The chemistry seemed real.
Yeah, I feel like we just leaned into that.
As a group, in real life, if you go on vacation, how does that go, and what season are we picking?
We kind of all did go on vacation. That last 10 days, we were in Puerto Rico, and I would go back there with you guys. Like, that was so much fun. It was the best. It was the best hybrid of work and play ever.
It really was.
Who is most like their character or most opposite of who they portray?
The good parts of the characters are represented in the actors, and the bad parts are a stretch.
I like that.
Wow. That's how I really feel. I keep saying the word. This is a seminal moment for me, career-wise, of like everything, all the stars, all the planets aligning with this group of people. I like that.
I like that.
Our thanks to Morgan Chesky for that report. Don't forget, mark your calendars. The 4 Seasons premieres this Thursday on Netflix.
It looks awesome.
Looks like a good time and a great cast.
And what a fun assignment for Morgan. Love that.
All right, that's going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Stay with us, so the news continues right now. Good morning. I'm Savannah Sellers.
I'm Joe Fryer. Right now on Morning News Now, 100 days of remaking America. President Trump's second administration reaches a milestone date. We're looking back on a whirlwind of sweeping policy changes on hot-button issues like immigration and major economic shakeups, sending shockwaves from Washington to Wall Street. We've got team coverage, including our own Steve Kornacki, here to break down how voters are feeling 100 days in. Also this morning, new details on that deadly Florida ferry hit and run. One passenger was killed, at least half a dozen injured. More on the harrowing aftermath, the victim, and the driver who police say fled the scene. Across the globe, a $70 million U.S. fighter jet lost in the Red Sea after slipping off an aircraft carrier, how the Navy says it happened. And it's race week here in America, so later in the hour, we're sitting down with the head of McLaren Racing, ahead of Formula One's hotly anticipated 2025 U.S. debut this season. It's happening where else? Miami, of course. I know you're excited about that one.
So excited, huge F1 fan, and the first U.S. race of the season. Always a big moment.
Very cool. We'll get to that in a little bit. Let's begin with the White House commemorating the 100th day of President Trump's second term. Today, the president heads to Macomb County, Michigan. He'll mark the milestone in one of the key battleground states that he flipped on his path to reclaiming the White House last year. Yesterday, Mr. Trump signed several executive orders targeting immigration. He also met with House Speaker Mike Johnson as Republicans race to try to pass big pieces of his agenda by Memorial Day.
This morning, we're taking a closer look at how Americans are feeling as more than a dozen of the most recent national polls show President Trump's job approval rating sinking. For more, our Steve Kornacki is standing by with some new poll numbers. But first, let's start with NBC News senior White House correspondent Garrett Hake is going to get us the latest from Washington. Hey, Garrett, good morning.
In these first 100 days, President Trump has moved aggressively to put his mark on just about every facet of American life. But nowhere has his influence been greater than on immigration, where his White House feels like they're making significant strides despite new controversy. And on the economy, where our new poll shows Americans are warning the White House they're not happy. This morning, as President Trump marks his first 100 days in office, his signature economic policy in the spotlight. According to a new NBC News poll, just 39% of Americans approve of the president's handling of trade and tariffs.
It's all coming down. It's all looking good. The tariffs are strong.
As rising prices loom, prominent firm Apollo Global Management saying that there could be empty shelves in stores and, quote, COVID-like shortages in a few weeks. Predicting that as the trade war with China continues, the flow of container ships to the U.S. will end by next month, followed by trucking. The firm also predicting a recession by summer. Overnight, the trade war's international impact also clear. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney elected in a surge of support for his party, heavily influenced by Trump's tariffs and promises to take over Canada.
We are over the shock of the American betrayal, but we should never forget the lessons.
The White House has argued the tariffs are necessary pressure on trade partners. The Treasury Secretary asked yesterday if he's worried about empty shelves.
We had some great retailers. I assume they pre-ordered.
President Trump also highlighting the other signature issue of his first 100 days, immigration. On Monday night, the president signing 3 executive orders, all focused on immigration, as the administration touted a 95% drop in illegal border crossings in March compared to last year. It comes amid reports 3 children who are U.S. citizens were removed from the country, flown to Honduras with their mothers, who are undocumented immigrants. The administration says the women requested their families be kept together. But a migrant rights group says that's, quote, completely untrue.
The moms did not feel that they had any choice in the matter.
We pressed the administration's border czar about the cases.
How is going after families with young kids targeting the worst of the worst?
First of all, we said we're going to prioritize the worst of worst.
You feel like that's what you're doing?
Absolutely. But when you prioritize something, it doesn't mean you forget about everybody else. I've said from day one, if you're in the country legally, you're not off the table.
Tonight, the president travels to Michigan for his first campaign-style rally of this second term. He's expected to announce a significant modification of his auto tariffs. The White House tells NBC News that while the 25% tariff on foreign cars and parts will remain in place, they won't be stacked with his other tariffs on things like steel or with country-specific levies. All of it may mean a little more breathing room for the American car companies, but not more certainty and not lower prices. The price of cars is still expected to rise significantly.
All right, Garrett, thank you.
For more on what the latest polls are showing, let's bring in NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki. Good to have you with us. So let's start. We have the president's slipping approval rating here. How does it compare with recent past presidents?
Yeah, so it's interesting. You average all the polls together for Trump right now, 43% job approval rating. That is on the low end. It really is at the lowest end of all modern presidents, but it comes with a twist, and that is it's actually a tie with one other president, the Trump of his first term. So he is exactly 100 days in terms of his popularity, where he was 100 days into his last term. So these numbers are bad by any historical standard. They're also completely normal by the Donald Trump standard we've been seeing for the last decade or so.
Well, important context, obviously, since he got elected again. Steve, we've been hearing interviews with Trump supporters, like Shaq was just telling us this morning. He was talking with people in Michigan, that they are continuing kind of to stand by the president, even amidst economic uncertainty, and even if that was the issue that was the most important to them in electing President Trump. So where are we seeing that softening, though, of support?
Yeah, it is interesting when you start looking at specific issues. There is some variance in his numbers here. So on the low end right now, we're seeing on the very lowest end his handling of inflation, cost of living. So his approval rating on that is in the high 30s, so lower than his overall approval rating. And the other area where he's under 40% in terms of his handling of it is on the question of trade and tariffs. So those are his two lowest marks. Now, his highest mark, meanwhile, where it's basically even, would be the border, immigration, border security. So he gets relatively high marks there, lower, though, on inflation, on trade and tariffs. And, of course, if you think back to his first term, that's a difference. In his first term, the economy was where he stood out, where his numbers were actually the strongest. You're seeing sort of the reverse of that right now.
So conventional wisdom might make you think, okay, Trump goes down, Democrats go up, but that's maybe not necessarily what we're seeing. What are we seeing with Democrats?
Yeah, so actually, and this is the other big difference in the polling from Trump's first term. We say he's the same overall, but during his first term, the opposition party, the Democrats, were more popular than Trump's Republican Party. And that kind of was the prelude to the Democrats having the good midterm when Trump was president the first time, Trump losing in 2020. But now the Democrats are less popular than the Republicans. So our poll, neither party is that popular. But the Democrats are almost 20 points underwater, meaning 20 points more unfavorable than favorable. That's significantly worse than Republicans right now. So the opposition to Trump, that's one thing I think Trump and the Republicans look at here, maybe as a sign of hope. They say our numbers, they might say, look like they have before, but the Democrats' numbers actually look worse than they did during the first Trump term.
All right. Steve Kornacki, good to have you with us as always.
You got it.
Well, there are new details this morning on the ferry crash in Clearwater, Florida, that claimed the life of one passenger and caused traumatic injuries to at least half a dozen more. This morning, investigators have custody of both boats involved in the crash and are trying to determine what caused it and why one of the drivers fled the scene. For the very latest, let's bring in NBC News correspondent Marissa Parra, who joins us from Clearwater, Florida. Hi, Marissa. Good morning.
Savannah, good morning. So we heard from authorities yesterday who said that quick actions from crew members on that ferry, as well as Good Samaritans who jumped in to help, likely saved lives. Investigators are combing through evidence as we speak. This as we're hearing from the victim's family for the first time.
This is unbelievable, man. This is unbelievable.
A terrifying reality caught on camera. The immediate aftermath of a deadly collision between a boat and a popular Florida ferry.
My legs tightening up.
The call for help Sunday night, immediate.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. There's been a boat collision.
And so was the response from Good Samaritan sailors nearby.
We could just hear them yelling for help. We made the mayday call, so then all the other boats in the area are going to respond, which they did.
At least 10 people were hurt when this boat, captured on a Clearwater City camera, slammed into the ferry with 45 people on board, at one point sailing over the top of the ferry altogether.
And I just looked out the corner of my eye and I seen the hull of a boat, right, cruising over my head. So I dove and my leg got pinned. My son got knocked in front of me.
41-year-old Jose Castro did not survive. His sister says she's in denial about what happened.
I think that he's going to come here anytime. He's going to come back home to his girls.
No one has been arrested in connection with the crash. Police say Jeff Knight was operating the commercial boat, which stayed at the scene for a short time, but was not there when officers arrived. He and the boat found later that night 3.5 miles away.
The captain voluntarily submitted to a breathalyzer, and there was no alcohol determined in that breathalyzer sample.
Investigators are combing through evidence from both boats, while the grieving family of the father lost in the accident hopes time will bring answers and some closure.
I want justice for him because my mom is destroyed.
Now, authorities said at this press conference yesterday evening that they're working with the state attorney's office to really make sure that this would or would not fit the definition of a hit and run. This is a new development. So part of this investigation is they're looking at every single camera that exists, interviewing every single person they can. They're even doing LiDAR mapping on both of these marine vessels. They're even looking at the lights on both of the vessels to make sure that the lights were fully functioning, to piece together not just what the conditions looked like at the time of the crash, Savannah, but the timeline of the crash and everything that happened before and after, before they move forward. Savannah.
All right, so many questions still, Marissa. Thank you.
A community in rural Illinois is in mourning after a car plowed into an after-school camp. 4 students were killed, the youngest victims just 7 years old. There are a lot of unanswered questions this morning as police try to piece together what happened. NBC News correspondent Maggie Vespa joins us now from Chatham, Illinois with the latest. Maggie, good morning.
Hey, Joe, good morning. Yeah, this small Illinois town waking up to an absolutely horrifying reality this morning. I'm going to step out of the way and show you the damage, show you the gaping hole in the side of this building after police say a driver yesterday plowed clear through it as the building was filled with kids here for an after-school camp. Again, 4 kids killed, 6 injured, and new this morning, police now saying this does not appear to be a targeted attack, but they're also not releasing the driver's name or why exactly they believe this happened.
I had a car run through a building, and they're saying there's quite a few people injured.
This morning, a small Illinois town struggling to understand the unimaginable.
It's saying as many ambulances as you can get out here.
Illinois State Police now assisting authorities in Chatham after officials say Monday afternoon a driver crashed through the Why Not After School camp, killing 4 students, all girls, ages 18 to 7. Images show a gaping hole in one side of the building.
A vehicle drove into the east side of the building. The vehicle struck multiple persons outside of the building before continuing through the building and exiting out on the west side of the structure.
Oh, no. Ambulances and helicopters flooding the scene. So far, investigators not naming them or releasing any kind of motive. It's unclear what connection, if any, the driver had to the after-school program. Meanwhile, support pouring in. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker writing, parents said goodbye to their kids this morning, not knowing it would be the last time. My heart is heavy for these families and the unimaginable grief they're experiencing.
Seeing how much we love our neighbors, how much we take care of our neighbors. It's been beautiful today.
And again, police this morning in an update saying this does not appear to be a targeted attack. They also say they're awaiting toxicology results for the driver. And they tell us among the 6 children still in the hospital, 1 of them remains in critical condition this morning. And today, local schools are closed. Joe?
Thinking about all those families. Maggie, thank you so much.
Well, the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments today in a key case concerning when people can sue to try to hold federal law enforcement accountable. In 2017, FBI agents broke down the front door of Trina Martin's Atlanta home before dawn and pointed guns at her then-boyfriend.
Moments into the raid, the FBI realized it had the wrong house, apologized, and left. The incident terrified Martin's 7-year-old son. Well, Martin's lawyers are asking the justices to revive a lawsuit that was filed in 2019 to sue the FBI for its error.
NBC News legal analyst Danny Savalas joins us with more on this. Danny, good morning. So it's a little complicated here. I'm just going to read this so I don't mess any of it up. The court will determine whether the Constitution's Supremacy Clause bars this lawsuit under the Federal Tort Claims Act. Explain that and what's at stake here.
Yes, this is so complicated, but I handle cases like this, so I have some familiarity. For most of American history, the federal government was completely immune. And in fact, if you wanted to recover damages for harm caused by the federal government, you had to literally go to Congress and say, hey, this government mule kicked someone. Can we get $5,000 and compensate them? And Congress would actually have to meet and vote on the issue. Well, in 1946, they said, this is too much work. Let's create a law, the Federal Tort Claims Act. And what it does is it creates an exception to the immunity of federal employees by saying that federal employees can be sued for what we call torts, negligence, assault, things that are generally harm that is caused, but under state law. And that is the key here, because one of the arguments of the government is that this violates the Supremacy Clause because it imports state law into federal law. But here's the thing. The whole Supremacy Clause is that Congress is the supreme law of the land, and Congress passed the FTCA. Therefore, it's the supreme law of the land. Congress chose to import these state law remedies, and that is at one of the things at the crux of this argument. So really, the issue is there this extra exception to the Federal Tort Claims Act that exempts these agents for doing something that is so obviously wrong, or are they protected because it was within their discretionary function? Again, very complicated.
Yeah, so we know Martin's initial lawsuit was dismissed in federal court and in circuit court. That was back in 2022. Right? I mean, I think you're touching on it here. Do Martin's attorneys have a shift in strategy here to try and change things? Is there any legal precedent that helps them out?
Yeah, sometimes you can make some vague predictions here, but the reason this is so complicated is that all the circuits are a complete mess. It is a complete patchwork in terms of what constitutes a discretionary exception. They're going to be looking at, if you're an FBI agent and you make such a galactic mistake like this, depending on where you are geographically, different courts interpret whether that is your discretionary function, whether you made a mistake as a result of your discretion, in which case you might be immune under the law. So with all of that difference across the different circuits, it's hard to predict how the court will come down, because what exactly is a discretionary act that would entitle a federal agent to immunity? Because remember, we're dealing with the general rule, which is that federal employees are completely immune. A federal law says, well, this is an exception to that rule, but then this is an exception to the exception. It gets really complicated.
And just to illustrate, I think, a little bit more what you're saying, in its dismissal, the 11th Circuit Court, the quote here, it had said that courts can't second-guess police officers who make honest mistakes in searches. Is that kind of what you're saying? Is that essentially what the Supreme Court would have to decide on?
Yes, exactly. So you start with the default rule, they're immune. Then you have the FTCA, which says, well, we waive the immunity when they do things that would make them liable under state law. But then there's another exception. Well, when they're using their discretion, when they're federal agents and they're making these tough choices about whether or not to kick open the wrong door, well, then they might be immune. And the reason these facts make it to the Supreme Court is that this is just such an obvious mistake by the agents who pretty much admitted it. They were in the house for no more than 5 minutes, and they asked what one of the people's address was. They're like, I think we're at the wrong place. And they literally left, came back, and gave them their business card and said, call us, sorry about the damage. So these facts are very favorable for the plaintiffs in this case. So it'll be interesting to see how the Supreme Court handles this.
Danny Savalas, fascinating. Thank you very much.
To the weather now, we're going to take a look outside our studios here at 30 Rock, where it's a little windy. The flags are blowing there. Another round of severe weather expected.
But it's sunny. Let's
yeah,
be positive.
exactly.
Let's get a check with Angie Lastman, who's here in studio.
I love
nice
that
out,
little
right?
positive spin you put on it. Yeah, it's nice though. I mean, who cares about a little wind when it's going to be 82 degrees in New York City and sunny, right?
Yeah.
We've got good news when it comes to temperatures, but unfortunately, as is typical with springtime, we've also got the potential to see some of those stronger storms, specifically across the middle of the country, but stretching even up into the Northeast. This is going to be essentially New York to Texas today, where we'll see kind of a cluster of some of these thunderstorms firing up and leaving us again with some of the strong to severe weather that we've been expecting yesterday, today, and even in the coming days. Here's the areas that we're going to watch specifically: Pittsburgh, Syracuse, Indianapolis, St. Louis, stretching down to Dallas, even Midland. Those are the areas. Hail, wind gusts, tornadoes, all on the table. Hail looks to be the biggest threat, and those could be large, quite large, 2 inches in size and larger. So we'll watch for that today into the afternoon and evening hours. And then tomorrow, we kind of ramp up those severe storms again. Most of it is centered across the midsection of the country. We'll see some of those storms intensifying into the second half of the day. But if you live in Dallas, specifically across parts of Arkansas, maybe into parts of southeastern Oklahoma, you'll see the potential, again, for no surprise, the hail, the winds, and the tornado threat to be there. The tornado threat is on the low end, but we still can't rule out a couple of those. Again, hail will be our biggest threat. On top of all of that, we also have multiple days where we're going to pick up some rain, specifically across this region. It's Oklahoma City that's under a flash flood warning right now, but Springfield, Tulsa, stretching down to Wichita Falls, we've got flood alerts. Those flood watches, let me try that again, for 7 million people right now are going to stay with us at least through Thursday morning because, again, there's repeated rounds of this. So when it's all said and done, I think upwards of maybe 4 or 5, even close to 8 inches of rain will be possible in some spots. A much bigger area picks up an inch, maybe 2 inches. That stretches up into the northeast. But I think across the parts of the plains, it'll be 4 to even 5 inches. And again, some of those localized areas could see even higher amounts. So for that reason, it's the flash flooding that we're really concerned about, specifically across this region, Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls, but as far north as St. Louis, we're going to see be a potential for us. And how about that springtime warmth? This is exactly what we were talking about with Savannah and Joe, right? We've got mid-80s for Richmond today. We've got low 80s for New York City. Lexington tops out at 81 degrees. These temperatures are close to 15, even 20 degrees above normal for this time of year. More of the same tomorrow. If you're enjoying the 80s, you got another day of it in Richmond tomorrow, Charlotte, Nashville, Atlanta. A little bit cooler, but kind of right where we should be for Indianapolis with a high of 71 degrees. And then we top out at 77 for Charleston. And just what you want to see rolling into May, temperatures staying on the mild side. We've got upper 60s Thursday in New York City, but we are right back to those upper 70s by Friday. We kind of moderate out just in time for Saturday as the system rolls through. But mid 80s for Charlottesville. We've got mid 80s for Charlotte. 80 degrees in Lexington on Thursday. We end up into those low 80s as well for Thursday and Friday in Memphis. Des Moines, you're on the cool side of things, I think, for Thursday and Friday, but you get back to the 70s as well. So some nice kind of warmth to take us right into May, guys.
Tan Northeasterners everywhere by the end of the week.
That was me in Central Park yesterday.
Can't believe it's almost May. Thanks. All right, much more to come on this hour of Morning News Now, including how the U.S. Navy says a $70 million fighter jet was actually lost in the Red Sea.
First, after the break, a pivotal rebuke of President Trump from our neighbors to the north. Canada's Liberal Prime Minister staying in power after a powerful response to Mr. Trump's recent rhetoric. But what might that mean for the future of its relationship with America? More on that next. Welcome back. Mark Carney is set to remain Prime Minister of Canada after his Liberal Party won a tight election that was overshadowed by tensions with the United States.
President Trump's trade tariffs and his repeated threats to make Canada the 51st state sparked a wave of patriotism and anti-American sentiment that appeared to galvanize Carney's supporters. Votes are still being counted, but the Liberal Party is not expected to win a majority.
NBC News correspondent Camila Bernal joins us now from Vancouver with more on this. Camila, good morning. How big of a role did these tensions with the U.S. play in Carney's win, which is really just an incredible comeback for his party? And tell us what he said in his victory speech overnight.
Hey guys, good morning. The United States and really President Donald Trump front and center in this Canadian election, and analysts saying that if it weren't for Donald Trump, maybe Mark Carney wouldn't have been able to win a fourth term for the Liberal Party here in Canada. And instead, he solidified that party's win and rule over the Canadian government. You have a couple of factors here. First, you have Justin Trudeau stepping down, and then you have the election of President Donald Trump and this trade war that emerges. And that's what analysts say really put Mark Carney front and center. His message during the campaign was one of uniting Canada against Donald Trump and standing up to Donald Trump. And he was very strong in his remarks, in his acceptance speech, when he came out also and speaking about the United States and what Canada is going to do essentially to face the trade war and to face our current president. Here's what Carney said.
President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us. That will never, ever happen. Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over.
And Carney is saying that the prosperity of Canadians is not going to be dependent on the United States, and instead they're obviously looking to strengthen Canada, not just here in Canada, but really the relationships they have around the world as well, guys.
And what's been the reaction to this result in America? And tell us what we're hearing so far from around the world.
Yeah, so we are still waiting for President Trump's reaction. He had been posting on Truth Social yesterday about Canada becoming the 51st state. So we're waiting to hear what the president has to say. But we are already hearing from world leaders about this election. The British Prime Minister posting that he wants that partnership to continue to grow. You also had the president of France coming out and congratulating Carney, saying that they want to work shoulder to shoulder, or excuse me, elbow to elbow is what he actually said. And then the Australian Prime Minister also coming out and speaking about that relationship. So you're seeing other countries wanting to strengthen their relationships with Canada. And the Prime Minister here saying that if the United States doesn't want to step up to leadership, then Canada will. So it will be interesting to see what kind of relationships Canada essentially comes out with in terms of Europe and in terms of Asia, because that is going to be critical in this trade war, guys.
And Camille, as we mentioned, Carney's Liberal Party is not expected to win a majority, 50%, which is something that can help when you're governing. So do we know at this stage, do they plan to go it alone, or are they going to try and get another smaller party on board to create some sort of coalition?
Yeah, they can't go at it alone. They will need those smaller parties. We don't know what kind of minority they're going to be working with, but they are going to need a handful of supporters from possibly the smaller parties to essentially get anything done. But I will say that the one thing that unites those smaller parties and even the Conservative Party with the Liberals is that fight against Donald Trump. That is the one thing that really is uniting Canadians. And it is interesting also to point out that Pierre Poilievre, who was the Conservative leader, or is at the moment, he lost his seat in the House of Commons. So it will be interesting to see what kind of leadership emerges out of this election from the Conservative Party and how much they will work with the Liberals. Similar to the United States, it's obviously very divided between the Liberal and the Conservatives, but we'll see what happens as they continue to fight this trade war with the United States.
All right, Camila reporting from Vancouver. Thank you so much.
Well, this morning, a fighter jet worth an estimated $70 million is lost in the Red Sea.
Yeah, the Navy says it happened Monday when the plane fell off an aircraft carrier that was deployed in the Middle East. NBC News correspondent Sam Brock joins us now with more on this one. Sam, good morning.
Yeah, guys, good morning. Look, we still don't know what events exactly precipitated this chain of events, but the reality is right now that the Navy has confirmed that an FA-18 fighter jet was under active tow when the crew lost control and it slipped into the ocean. The Navy also saying that 2 sailors were able to clear out of the way, one of them sustaining a minor injury. This morning, a supersonic fighter jet, described as the backbone of the U.S. Navy carrier Air Wing, has been lost at sea. The roughly $70 million aircraft had been aboard the USS Harry S. Truman aircraft carrier in the Red Sea. The Navy says the FA-18 Super Hornet was actively under tow in the hangar bay when the move crew lost control of the aircraft. The aircraft and tow tractor were lost overboard. The government adding the sailors towing the aircraft took immediate action to move clear of the aircraft before it fell overboard. An investigation is underway. It's not clear what caused the loss of control, but Iranian-backed Houthi rebels Monday claimed they launched a drone and missile attack on the Truman in retaliation, they say, for deadly U.S. strikes in Yemen. Jack Jacobs is a retired U.S. Army colonel.
If the aircraft carrier is under fire and is making a hard turn, one can envision that the aircraft that's being towed to lose control and for it to fall overboard.
Jacobs says that kind of evasion for the more than 1,000-foot-long, 200 million-pound carrier would be delicate, but not impossible.
Envisioning something that large to conduct an evasive maneuver against a Houthi missile attack or drone attack, it's difficult to envision that, but it can do that.
The Truman was deployed to the Middle East as part of a weeks-long campaign aimed at preventing Houthi attacks on commercial ships in the region. The carrier has been involved in several incidents in recent months, including a collision in February with a merchant ship near Egypt, to another FA-18 from the Truman being mistakenly shot down by the USS Gettysburg in the Red Sea back in December, with both pilots ejecting safely. Monday's loss, Jacob says, is not an insignificant one.
And it's hard to say exactly how much this aircraft was worth, but losing any aircraft is a big blow.
Yeah, exceedingly costly. The Department of Defense has not confirmed, guys, whether this incident has anything to do with a Houthi attack, but the Navy has said that the carrier's strike group and air wing remain fully mission capable. As for recovering a lost jet, Colonel Jacobs says it depends on the depth of the sea. At its deepest point, the Red Sea is nearly 10,000 feet deep, but the Navy will likely try to at least recover the jet because it contains sensitive technology the military would not want any other country or bad actors ultimately to be able to access.
Understandable, but that won't be easy either.
Definitely not.
What a mess. Thank you.
Coming up, some jaw-dropping new video out of Arizona.
A speedboat racing at 200 miles per hour, flipping through the air with 2 drivers inside. How they managed to survive. Up next.
We are back now with a major setback for Karen Reed in her second murder trial. Reed is the Massachusetts woman who is accused of killing her former boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe.
Well, now the Supreme Court is choosing not to weigh in on her closely watched retrial. NBC News correspondent Emily Ikeda has been following the case closely. She joins us with the details. Hey, Emily, good morning.
Good morning to you. As the second week of Reed's murder trial redo ramps up, we now know the Supreme Court won't be dropping any of the charges against her. This comes as the prosecution zeroes in on John O'Keefe's cell phone to paint a picture of his final moments before he was found dead outside of a fellow cop's home. This morning, a major blow to Karen Reed's ongoing legal battle as she again fights to clear her name in the death of her boyfriend. Reed's legal team had asked the U.S. Supreme Court to intervene in her retrial in an effort to have some of the charges dropped, arguing it was a case of double jeopardy after jurors in her first trial allegedly told them afterwards they unanimously agreed that Karen Reed was not guilty of 2 of the 3 charges against her. The Supreme Court, however, denying the request to review her case, as Reed's retrial will press forward with the charges unchanged. She's accused of hitting her police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, with her SUV after dropping him off at a friend's home and leaving him to die in the cold. A digital forensics expert testifying Monday that O'Keefe's phone was last unlocked at 12:32 a.m. and that the phone's battery temperature then steadily dropped from 72 degrees at 12:37 a.m. to 37 degrees by 6:14, around the time O'Keefe was discovered dead. The expert also testified that the phone's location data indicated that he likely never entered the home, as the defense has suggested.
My opinion is that the device never moved far away from the flagpole.
The jury got the chance to see that front yard in Reed's SUV in a field trip Friday.
There is no substitute for your own 2 eyes. As we all know, photos and videos sometimes can be misleading.
The forensics expert also weighed in on another disputed piece of evidence, an iPhone search by O'Keefe's friend, How Long to Die in Cold, saying it was made around 6:23 a.m. in contrast to the defense's timeline of 2:27 a.m., which would have been long before Reed even knew O'Keefe was missing. The defense argues O'Keefe was never hit by Reed's car, but rather injured by someone else inside and moved outdoors. All of it as Reed supporters and internet sleuths hang on every detail.
Never in my entire life have I been more invested in a court case than the Karen Reed trial.
So, Emily, we're also hearing a key figure from the first trial is expected to take the stand very soon. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's right. We're expecting Jen McCabe, a friend of O'Keefe and the person who famously searched How Long to Die in Cold, to take the stand sometime soon. She has said in the past that she did that at Reed's direction after O'Keefe's body was found, but the defense disagrees, saying that that search was made before O'Keefe's body was found, which could help implicate McCabe or other people over Reed. The defense will also get the chance to cross-examine the digital forensics expert that contradicted their timeline. Guys, the timeline in this case so key to both sides here.
All right, Emily, thank you.
Well, now let's get to some incredible video coming out of a boat race in Arizona that turned into something straight out of an action movie. Check this out. 2 racers trying to smash speed records instead found themselves flipping through the air. Now, somehow, both drivers lived to tell the story. Here's NBC News correspondent Ryan Chandler with more on the wild scene.
A bold attempt at breaking a record. Gone so spectacularly wrong. Holy it almost doesn't look real. A 38-foot skater speedboat reaching speeds of 200 miles per hour, suddenly going airborne. backflipping and careening before crashing into the waters of Arizona's Lake Havasu on Saturday. Inside that boat, 2 members of the Freedom 1 racing team, competing in the 2025 Desert Storm Shootout, trying for a new record, 244 miles per hour on a 3/4 mile course. They went from 50 to 200 miles per hour in just 13 seconds before the moment of liftoff.
What went wrong at the moment of the crash? Were they just going too fast?
The issue we ran into here is, one, it's a fairly new boat, but it has a lot of power. We were going fast, and right at the end of the track, it kind of opens up to a big cove, and we're pretty sure it just caught a really big wind gust.
Holy Teammate Ryan Ola says the design of the boat likely saved the pair from critical injuries. One driver broke a collarbone and several ribs. The other has a semi-fractured knee.
That safety capsule is designed to withstand the most intense crashes, and it held up perfect. I think they definitely walked away with, very minor injuries considering, but I think God has a lot for us in store.
The boat also banged up, but Ryan says everyone's spirits are high.
They were just getting out of the hospital, and when I called them, the first words out of both of their mouths, they had me on speakerphone, and all they cared about was if they won the race. I mean, that was the first comment was, "Hey, did we win?" I mean, I'm like, well, let me make a few phone calls and I'll find out. So we got the word that we actually did one King of the Desert. We were the fastest boat out there.
Oh, wow. Our thanks to Ryan Chandler for that report. And despite that terrifying crash, both racers quickly found themselves in good spirits. Clearly, they donated nearly $20,000 to local charities after the event, and they say they are looking forward to getting back in the cockpit.
I hope they get a nice big trophy for that one.
For real. Dang, so happy they're okay. Well, coming up, the fight against so-called deepfakes online was back on Capitol Hill this week.
The bill now heading to President Trump's desk. It's aimed at taking down revenge porn. Why some digital rights groups say it could actually threaten free speech. That is next on Morning News Now.
Welcome back. In a rare act of unity, the House passed a bipartisan bill on Monday aimed at combating deepfake pornography online.
In a vote of 409-2, the House passed the Take It Down Act. That would make it a crime to post non-consensual, sexually explicit images on social media, including those generated by artificial intelligence. Now, the bill was passed by the Senate earlier this year, so it now goes to President Trump's desk, where he is expected to sign it into law.
For more on this, we are joined by Mark Weinstein. He's the author of the book, Restoring Our Sanity Online. Mark, good morning. Great to see you. So these images that Joe just mentioned, created with AI, they're becoming more and more of a problem for everyday people, like, for example, high school students. This stat is kind of shocking. 15% of high schoolers say they are aware of one of these images of someone they know. And just to be clear, what these images really realistically make it look like is as if it's a nude image of somebody. And in the case of these high schoolers, I'm talking about just like someone that they know at their school. And even though it's not real, it can be so damaging to a young person. What does the passage of this bill mean for them?
Look, thank you, and good morning, everybody. This bill is hugely important. It had massive support. 100% of the Senate voted for it. It's so hugely bipartisan. 400 of 402 members of Congress voted for it. Melania Trump supported it. And what it does is it's going to protect kids. And this is so important. I mean, we know there's so many suicides. There's so much shaming. And this will, just really sort of like block it. One of the issues with the bill, it still is a 48-hour window to take down imagery once it's flagged as such. And I think that's actually a little bit too long.
Yeah, let's talk more about that. I mean, that 48-hour rule, what do you worry can happen in that time? I mean, does that offer tech companies some sort of shielding from any sort of potential liability?
Well, yeah, and it's interesting. Well, in this case, the tech companies are pretty well shielded as long as they pull the image down within 48 hours of it being reported. But the poster, and this is where the bill really has teeth, the poster could be subject to up to 3 years in jail for if it's a minor whose images are altered and put online. It's 3 years in jail. That's the maximum penalty, or 2 years if it's an adult. So we've got teeth here, and this is really important. Plus, the fines of up to almost $52,000 a day if the image is not pulled down in time. And also there are state laws. 23 states have already passed laws. So it's almost like a double down, because for a state like New York, which has got a very tough law, there's another year in jail right there, more fines, etc.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's where it has teeth, Mark, especially because it's not just like going after big tech anymore. It makes it like not funny, not a joke for a high school student to just post it of someone they know and end up ruining their life. The thing, though, Mark, is there are opponents to this bill. Digital rights groups, they're raising concerns that it could threaten free speech and privacy rights, that it could essentially be abused to, take anything down off the internet. What's the argument there?
Savannah, it's such a good question. I have a long history as a free speech advocate. Long history. I'm well known for that. But the free speech I support is civil discourse. This is so far removed from civil discourse. And we've got to, we can't keep hiding behind the sort of flag of free speech and harming human beings, harming, girls, harming, everybody under that banner. No, civil discourse is a completely different conversation. Plus, with all the millions of bots and trolls online, we can't hide behind that banner anymore. We've got to protect people. We can get this right, and then we can adjust the bill if we see there's impairment that wasn't supposed to happen to free speech advocates.
Mark Weinstein, important information. Thank you so much for joining us.
Top executives are heading to the White House for big money talks about U.S. investments.
CNBC's Silvana Hanau has that. Another Money News. Hey, Silvana.
Savannah, Joe, good morning. Yes, CEOs from NVIDIA, Johnson & Johnson, Toyota, Hyundai, and other companies will be among more than 24 business leaders at the White House tomorrow for an event highlighting U.S. investment. Now, administration officials say President Trump plans to promote a broad range of investments in defense, tech, healthcare, and consumer products, marking his first 100 days in office. Now, many companies have expressed concerns about the impact of the president's tariffs on manufacturing and sales. OpenAI rolls out new shopping features in an update to ChatGPT's search function. It will offer users personalized product recommendations with images, reviews, and a link to directly buy items from the merchant's website. The shopping tool will initially be available for fashion, beauty, home goods, and electronics, and it will not include ads, and OpenAI won't receive commissions from purchases made through ChatGPT. And Duolingo plans to gradually stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. An email posted on LinkedIn by Duolingo's co-founder and CEO announcing the company will be AI first. In addition to using fewer contractors, it may also use AI in hiring and performance reviews. He says the move isn't about replacing employees with bots, but more about removing bottlenecks so they can focus on creative work and real problems, guys.
Interesting. We see that impacting jobs more and more. Thanks, Silvana.
It sure is.
Overseas, it is a day of celebration for Princess Kate and Prince William following a difficult year of health challenges. The couple will travel to Scotland, where they first met, for their wedding anniversary. NBC News Chief International Correspondent Keir Simmons has the story.
Hey there, it's amazing to look back on this partnership. So much has changed since that incredible wedding. And as the couple celebrates this anniversary, they're travelling back to where it all began, Scotland. This morning, the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate, celebrating their 14th wedding anniversary, reflecting on so many eventful years together. Their wedding ceremony at Westminster Abbey, watched by millions around the world. Queen Elizabeth declaring herself absolutely delighted Prince Harry was best man. Now the couple marking the occasion with a 2-day official visit to the tiny Isle of Mull off Scotland's west coast, posting a video of the island on social media. Scotland, a special place for William and Kate, who met there over 20 years ago while both were college students at the University of St Andrews. Kate famously strolled the catwalk at a charity fashion show, catching William's eye. They graduated together in 2005, the late Queen in attendance.
And they deliberately chose to be working on their wedding anniversary. They want to be in Scotland, somewhere that's really special to them.
When in Scotland, Will and Kate are officially known by their Scottish titles, the Duke and Duchess of Rothesay. Their visit, royal officials say, aims to highlight the importance of protecting the environment, a cause close to their heart, especially Kate.
Not everyone has that same relationship, perhaps, with nature, but it is so therefore meaningful for me as a place to balance and find a sort of sense of peace and reconnection in what is otherwise a very busy world.
Kate drawing solace from nature as she has spent over a year in treatment following her cancer diagnosis, now in remission.
The cancer journey is complex, scary and unpredictable for everyone, especially those closest to you.
Prince William stepping up as King Charles continues to receive treatment for his own undisclosed cancer, attending Pope Francis's funeral over the weekend.
It is all about duty for them, but it's also about family.
Kate slowly getting back to work. Today, a royal opportunity to look back on their lives together. Now proud parents to 3 young children, George, Charlotte and Louis. And to look to the future.
Not everyone might think it is the most romantic of anniversaries, a windswept island off of Scotland, but then, you know, the royals, they're just like us.
Yeah, okay. I'll take it. All right, Keir, thank you. Coming up, Formula One is back in America this week.
And after the break, we're sitting down with the CEO of one of its hottest teams, McLaren, in the run-up to Sunday's Grand Prix in none other than Miami. That's next on Morning News Now. Well, buckle up, Miami. The Formula One Grand Prix is coming back to the U.S. this weekend. The world's fastest and best drivers will once again feel the heat on and off the track at Hard Rock Stadium. And we are lucky to be joined now by CEO of McLaren Racing, Zach Brown. Zach.
Good morning.
I am so excited to have you here. As you may know, I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of your team. I may or may not be wearing, what do you call this color?
Papaya. It looks perfect.
Okay, in a big moment for McLaren, Lando Norris won the Miami Grand Prix last year, and now we're back on U.S. soil, first U.S. race of the season. How does that feel? How does it compare? Obviously, you're all over the world. You're all over the globe. What is it like to come to America?
We love it. We're excited. This is last year, Miami was Lando's first win, and that started us on our quest to become world champions, the first time in 26 years. So we have very fond memories of the race. They do a great job. All 3 races in North America are massively popular.
They certainly are. And we'll talk in just a moment about the growing fandom here in the U.S. But for people who might not know Formula One that well, right now, your team, I mean, you guys are having an amazing moment. Tell us about both of your drivers.
Yeah, Oscar Piastri's won 3 races. Lando won. We've won 4 or 5 to start the year. Each race has been very, very close. So 4 or 5 wins seems pretty dominant, but barely. And in this sport, with the pace of development of these racing cars, the top 4 teams are so close. Anything can happen this weekend, but we're off to a good start. We're leading the Constructors' Championship. We're first and second in the championship. Lando had been leading it up until last race, where his teammate now is leading it. So we're in a good spot, but we got to keep pushing very hard.
Yeah, not bad. Best situation, right? Best case scenario.
Best situation, but a lot of racing to go. You know, this time last year, we were 3rd in the championship, 99 points out of the lead. Now we have 99-point lead on the team that's 3rd in the championship, and we ended up reversing by the end of the year. So we know there's a lot of racing still to go.
Right, but it does feel like, as a viewer, what you guys are doing is exciting and a momentum build, and it's kind of like shaking things up a little bit. Does it feel like that to you?
Yeah, the sport's never been more competitive. You've got 10 teams, an 11th team coming in. It's, you know, this weekend, I think you've got 4 teams that can win and kind of 7 or 8 drivers that can win. And so the level of competitiveness in Formula One these last couple of years has been amazing, and long may it continue, because I think in sport you want to show up and have your favorites and have an idea who might win, but it's nice to go and kind of go.
Totally.
I think there's 6 or 7 drivers that can win here as opposed to 1 or 2. So I think it's going to be a very competitive race, and hundreds of thousands of fans and hundreds of millions watching around the world.
And that's what does feel different this year. It feels like it's an up for grabs every race, rather than
race,
kind of having been a foregone conclusion for a little bit there with someone in particular. Let's talk about the U.S. fandom. Do you attribute some, a lot, most of it to things like the Netflix show, and maybe
Definitely.
to what we'll see soon with the Brad Pitt movie on Apple?
Yeah, definitely. I think it starts with Liberty, who acquired the sport at the end of 2016. They kind of shifted the mindset of the industry to become a very inclusive, let's show you how Formula One works. I think Netflix had done a wonderful job of showing everyone how the sport not only works on the track, But, you know, it's definitely a soap opera off the track because there's so many different aspects to our sport. And we only have 20 Grand Prix drivers, 10 teams, so it's quite easy to kind of get to know everyone. So I think they've done a fantastic job. The Brad Pitt movie that's coming out in, I think it's June, will be another level of excitement.
Yeah.
So when you look at what Formula One needed, we needed more diversity, more women following the sport, a younger audience, and North America. And in 5 years, we have delivered that to that audience. And so it's awesome getting, you know, walking around New York and having young women or new fans come up and go from, I never watched Formula One, to now I won't miss a race.
I mean, that's me.
It's awesome.
I'm not sporty. Like, that's a thing very well known about me here. So I don't know what I'm talking about half the time, except for I love F1. For me, what hooked me is, obviously, the Netflix show is fantastic, but also even just when you're watching the races, being able to hear communication between principals and drivers. It's like watching a drama unfold in real time.
Oh, it's definitely a drama. And there's so many different aspects of sport. People love the technology. They love the drivers. They love the on-track competition. They love the politics, because there's a lot of politics going on off the track for, you know, team members and drivers and sponsors.
When they want a teammate to go ahead and pass, I mean, that's tough.
Yeah, and we don't have kind of the same level of governance some other sports.
Yeah.
So, you know, in NFL or MLB, you can only talk to players at certain times and certain windows. It's a bit of a free-for-all in Formula One. So with that comes some excitement. So I think the sport's fascinating in so many different levels.
Zach Brown, we appreciate it. I'm sure you've got a busy week. We are so grateful you spent a little bit of time with us. Thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thanks for having me on.
And that is going to do it for this hour of Morning News Now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.